Today we're going to talk about the Japa 365 basic firewood processor and how you can set this machine up if all you have is a tractor in your yard and you want to start producing firewood fast. Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Metza Machines, and as I just said, I'm going to be covering the Japa 365 basic today. So the Japa 365 basic is a bit more competitively priced, and it's something that we recommend for people if you're looking at getting into firewood. Maybe you're upgrading from a log splitter and you want to produce firewood faster. Maybe you're looking at buying a firewood processor, but you don't have $100,000 to spend, but you know you want to get into something where you're producing it faster by yourself without having to hire more people or invest in a ton of different pieces of equipment. So with the 365 basic PTO model, if you have a tractor that can power the machine, the best way to set it up, where if you don't want to have to unhook the machine constantly, is to get the Japa log lift. And so I have the arms up in the air here, but and we also have, this one has the powered infeed roller here. So this is powered infeed roller will sync up with the speed of the infeed belt. So when you feed in the infeed belt, you're going to feed the log in off that roller. And then when those lower down, you'll see we have some bunks set up here. We have our logs, and then we have our full log pile. So this is where we had the truck driver unload all of our logs when they were actually delivered to us. So by setting the machine up a little bit of ways from the pile, you have some distance there so that you don't have to worry about the logs falling on you when you're rolling them down. But this way you could take your logs and you can just roll them, feed them to the log lift, feed them to the machine, and then you can make your pile of firewood or fill crates or do whatever you're going to do. This way you can set up your processor so you're able to make firewood, and you're able to keep feeding logs in without having to unhook the tractor to keep feeding in extra logs or have a second piece of equipment that you need to keep feeding in logs. The way this is set up right now, this is probably the ideal one-man firewood operation if you're working on a budget and you're looking at getting into using a firewood processor, because if you have one tractor, again, you don't need one as big as the one we have set up here. If you have a tractor and you can power your processor with that, you don't need to worry about how you're going to load the machine if you have the log lift. And then you have the outfeed conveyor, which you can use to either make a pile like I'm doing here, or if you have crates or bins that you're filling with the wood, then you just have those pre-staged. The basic does come with a conveyor sluice, so this does sluice side to side, so you can fill up several crates at once. And if you center them so that the pile of firewood's going into the center of crates, you can fill up, we do 9 crates, we've done 12 crates. You can really fill up a lot of crates without having to get out or stop producing and move crates around. So this is kind of the ideal one-man firewood setup. Now I'm going to fire up the process here in just a sec, but I want to quickly go over the basic features with it. So you have your knife height adjustment here. This is going to be how you raise and lower your knife, and we're going to log in the chamber so it doesn't want to go all the way down right now. We've got the manual start and stop for your splitter. And then normally on the Pro model, this is where the joystick would be. On the basic, your controls are all up here. So this is your pull down bar. When you're bringing it down, that's going to engage the saw. Once you get to the bottom and start coming back up, that's going to engage the splitter. And then pushing forward is going to be what runs your infeed. And then finally, you have your log lift controls here. This is going to be what you use to raise and lower your log lift. If there was a deck attached, it would be what controls the singulator on, like, let's say the 422 rack. This is how you control a singulator. It would also be how you feed the chains. And we don't really recommend going with a huge log rack or log deck for this processor, just because with the basic there is no reverse on the infeed. So if you're feeding in super large logs, getting them back out of the machine if they're too big for the machine is going to be a little bit more of a hassle. Really, the 422 log rack, the 465 log rack, or a log lift are going to be your best options. So with that being said, and with the kind of setup fully covered, I'm going to fire up the processor, get the tractor running, and start making some firewood. Well guys, just finished processing some logs. Got a nice little pile going behind me. That last log there was a little tricky. It was a little big, and the center of it was a lot of knots. But we were able to get through it. Once I got it unjammed, flipped it around, was able to process the rest of that with no problem. That was probably as big as I'd want to put through the 6-way knife, and even then I kind of looked at it. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to want to put it through, but it worked out. Was able to split it. And that is the Japa 365 Basic with the log lift and powered in-feed roller. That powered in-feed roller really does make a difference with the log lift when it comes to feeding logs in, especially those bigger logs. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment below and ask us, or if there's something else you'd like to see on the channel, let us know. We're always happy to kind of take suggestions in when we're thinking of videos to do. But the Japa 365 Basic is currently for sale. We have these in stock. We are running a promo, 10% off any PTO model. So if you want more information on that, feel free to reach out to us or one of our dealers, and we'll put you in touch with the correct one, help answer any questions. But as always, thanks for watching and have a good one.